Strange stones, worn by the wind, textured by time, but unmistakably shaped by the hand of man. Mystic relics of some ancient and vanished culture. Alone, they seem only curiosities, mysterious fragments scattered on a remote plain, the driftwood of history. But seen together, each in relation to others, these stones project an ageless power that echoes through the centuries. A concept frozen in form and pattern. Stonehenge. These massive stones, these majestic structures, what purpose did they serve? Who placed them here? Was this a temple, an astrological calendar, an enormous sundial? The answer was forgotten before history began, and today this is a monument to an unknown idea, the reflection of an unseen vision. But Stonehenge is more than a mystery. These stones carry an enduring significance greater than their original purpose. Because between the concept and the creation, between the idea and the reality, there had to exist a plan. Whoever selected these stones, set them here, and built these structures had the capacity to plan, to lead, to organize the efforts of other men, creating a timeless symbol of man's ability to shape his future to the perspectives of his mind. Time moves at an accelerating pace, and today the future is here too fast. We seem caught in a rush of continual change, no longer controlling our world, but only reacting to it. We're trapped in a maze of unexpected twists and turns that seem to defy planning, that block perspective. How can we set our course and move along the route we plan? We cannot slow time. How can we avoid being tumbled in the currents of change that surround us? Racing into an uncertain future, facing unexpected challenges, somehow we must choose our direction and follow it. But with endless obstacles in our path, with the constant battering of change, can we maintain perspective and stay on our chosen course? Or must we only move from crisis to crisis, hoping somehow to survive? The world moves faster. Perspectives have grown more confused, more complex. But man can achieve by following his own vision, by forming a strategy to reach his objective, by planning his own success. Era Parsegian, 2 national championships, Coach of the Year, the game's leading strategist.
The winning edge is your plan, how well you're prepared, and how well you adapt when the situation demands it. Sure, this is a game of action, but you've got to use your head. You've got to think. You see things differently down on the field than you do up there in the stands. The people who fill this stadium every week of the season really only experience a small part of what this game is all about. They may see a great run, a tremendous defensive play, and it appears that's how the game was decided. And it's only natural. We all do the same thing. We look at a man's accomplishments and we say, that's what made him a success. We really don't see what led up to that accomplishment. It surprises people when I say that the real key to winning on this field involves a great deal more than the natural God-given talents of the players. No one is a born winner. I've coached enough All-Americans that were too slow, too short, too small to know how true that is. And I'm just not talking about attitude. Sure, attitude is very important. So is being hungry and determined and being willing to make the personal sacrifices that are necessary to be successful. Having pride and confidence and enthusiasm. Having bounce, the ability to recover from adversity. It takes all of these things to compete, but I'm talking about something even more fundamental. When we came up this ramp on game day, we knew what we wanted to do, and we knew how we were going to do it. We were ready. We had a plan. We weren't just reacting. We had built a strategy that helped us take charge of the game. Planning, perspective, call it what you will. It was the key to our winning seasons.
When Ara Parsegian retired after 11 years as head coach at Notre Dame, his teams had finished among the top 10 in the country 9 times. He had a winning strategy. But how do you plan for the unplannable? How do you build a strategy for success and make it work when the competition is trying to stop you? When you must deal with the unexpected? When the action is fast? How can you maintain perspective?
I don't think the average person has any idea of the extent of the planning that goes into a football season. The principles are the same for any enterprise you undertake. You have to start with an objective. Where do you really want to go? 1 year from now, for example, where do you want to be? Our objective was an undefeated season. And we knew that if we wanted to get there, we had to start planning long before the season opened. We determined the kind of team we would become, and we decided the basic style of play that would guide us throughout the season. Many people are willing to do all the hard work that's required to achieve, but they don't take the time to really plan out where they want to go and how they'll get there. Now, once we had formed our perspective, it gave us all a singleness of purpose, a compass point we would always return to when the pressures of the season started to sidetrack us with one crisis or another. This early process of setting goals and assigning staff responsibilities, this is what you might call a first stage in planning. This is when we decided what we had to accomplish and how we were going to do it. Of course, it's an uphill climb from there. You never reach your objective in one giant step. We had to play our schedule one game at a time.
This is where the strategy was tested, where the plan succeeded or failed. How do you make your strategy work? How do you deal with the future when it becomes the present? How do you meet the challenge of now?
Here is where we put our strategy to work every week. Here in this conference room, we focused in on the immediate challenges of every Saturday's game. This is where we developed our specific game plan. If we were playing a team that was number 1 against a run, then we may have planned to open them up with a passing attack. Maybe the week before, we had concentrated on the run. And if the conventional solutions were not good enough, then we had the courage to innovate. Now, a couple of things became vitally important as we entered the implementation stage. We had to know our competition. We had exactly 6 days between games to get ready for them. That meant we had to organize our efforts, budget our time, and break down our responsibilities. Even with all the pressures of an approaching game, all the jobs that had to be done, I tried always to maintain our perspective. After each game, I analyzed our performance, identified our mistakes, saw what we needed to work on, to adjust, to change. And I kept moving back to our overall strategy, evaluating it in terms of the present. This game-by-game strategy is really the second stage in our planning, adjusting our overall plan to the individual challenges and converting those challenges into opportunities.
Game day at Notre Dame. 60 minutes of playing time. And very few go exactly as planned. The excitement of the game is its unpredictability. Now, another team tries to prevent you from doing everything you planned and practiced. Now your strategy is tested by the unexpected. And somehow, the unpredictable must be managed.
This is where it all finally happens. Things can change, and change fast. Weather conditions, an unexpected defense, the time remaining. You have to make decisions within seconds. Handle the changes as they come. You have to stay loose, adjust to the game. To survive, you've got to make sideline decisions. They're an absolute necessity. You can't put them off. And this is really the final stage of planning. But you can't do it all here. By the time you're in the game, you'd better have a clear strategy. If you're well prepared, then you can deal with the changes quickly and surely. Of course, the real test of any planner is what happens when things get tough. You know, things never got tougher for us than they did in the Southern California game at the end of the 1974 season. We had played an excellent first half, and we led 24-0. Our game plan was working. Then it all broke loose. The game just turned around in the second half. Everything caved in on us. I consider it the worst defeat of my coaching career. It was a low time for all of us. But what did we do? We accepted a bowl bid to play undefeated Alabama, the #1 team in the country. We stayed with our system.
Orange Bowl, Miami, New Year's Day, 1975. First quarter. Two determined defenses force an exchange of punts. Alabama signals a fair catch and fumbles. Notre Dame recovers on the 16-yard line. 3 plays later, a crucial decision. 4th and 1 at the 7. Kick or go for it. Power play picks up first down. The next play, touchdown. Second quarter. A twisting run reaches the end zone for another score. But then the extra point is missed. An important point as the game develops. In the fourth quarter, with Notre Dame leading 13-3, Alabama connects with a long pass for a 48-yard score. Then Alabama attempts a 2-point conversion. With a diving catch, they're back in the game, only 2 points behind Notre Dame. Now, a field goal can win for Alabama. On a rollout, Notre Dame's quarterback is hurt, forced to leave the game. The Irish give up the ball. Less than 2 minutes left, and Alabama moves to the Notre Dame 38, nearing field goal range. But the Irish intercept. One minute and 8 seconds of careful ball control, and the Irish win the game. Ara Parsegian ends his Notre Dame career with perhaps his greatest victory and one of college football's most dramatic comebacks. A team effort, a successful strategy, and a winning game plan.
You reach your goals by planning. Then you've got to face the challenges as they come. Just like the opposing teams in a season, you have to prepare for them. It's really a continuous process, evaluating results, making adjustments, organizing the efforts of you and your staff to carry out those adjustments. Finally, you've got to handle the action as it comes, but you still have to take time to step back and think. You have to manage the changes, convert them into opportunities. There's only one way you'll get where you want to go. Maintain your perspective.
Maintaining perspective. Managing change. The key to achievement. We live and work in a high-speed world where the only constant is that nothing remains the same. We search for goals that often seem blocked from our view. But even today, those who reach their goals share a secret with the achievers of history. Centuries have passed, but the lesson of the past is clear. Between the shadow and the light, between the idea and the reality, there must be a plan. Man can plan his achievements, realize the full potential of his future, manage the daily changes in his life, if he has the vision and the determination to keep his world in perspective.